Hello, my name is Paula Gouveia. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about week 10, Recovering a Sense of Self-Protection, in the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I love a quote where she says, "Creativity is a burst of the universe's breath." She talks about the toxic patterns that we are holding on to and that damage our creative flow. When we are clear about who we are and what we are doing, the energy flows freely and we experience no strain, which is very important because sometimes we force things to happen, we write down our goals and we feel like no piece is really moving. So sometimes we have to allow things to just happen in their rhythm. In the middle of difficulty lies the opportunity, the choice to block always work in the short run and fails in the long run. So I think it's important to not be stagnant. Sometimes you have to take U-turns, but it's important to keep on moving because you can hit a moving target. Turn anxiety into fuel because sometimes we distract ourselves with workaholism. It is how we use our life that determines the kind of person that we are. So what she's trying to say is that working too much is not a building block. We have to do what's right for us and what fits who we are as a person. Sometimes we feel drained out because of mechanical empty forces. So be clever and have a sense of wonder when you do your morning pages that trail home to yourself. Don't go through the motions, because if you do, your emotions are dried up and you can't feel anything, not the good nor the bad. Be fearless. Even if you stumble into grief, there is a purpose. To write is the right thing, because it always gives us insights. It takes us into the wilderness of our heart, and the point of the work is the work to do it good, to do it as good as we can. Adrienne Rich said, "The unconscious wants truth. It ceases to speak to those who want something else more than truth." Real learning comes about when the competitive spirit has ceased. Treating yourself like a precious object will make you strong. So you have to think you're like a diamond, something strong, something sometimes in the rough, but that can have so much potential if you work at it. She says it's a shortcut for self-approval. How am I doing? It's an important question. Concrete, small, loving actions nurture our artist selves, joyful in creative endeavors. Competition, spiritual drag, passion on our own well. Don't stop our own process. Ask yourself the wrong questions or be unhealthy or heavy. As artists, we must go within, inner guidance. Desire to be better than one person or the other can choke simple desire to be. Defensive game outside of ourselves and our sphere of influence. We have to define our own creativity in our own form. What is within us is struggling to be born. Only when he no longer knows what he is doing can he do the good thing, said Degas. Ego first and best. We have to let go of our ego. Originality is the process of remaining true to ourselves, to not make snap judgments. So, until we know better, the creative effort can be ugly duckling and then just evolve into something else. An act of art needs time to mature. Bad writing may be a syntactical breakdown necessary for a change in your style. Art needs time to incubate and be misshapen and finally merge as itself. The ego hates that, wants instant gratification, wants approval in front of the others, in contrast to the approval of ourselves. Showing up for the work is the win that matters. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Examine your resistance. A great deal depends upon the thought patterns we choose and on the persistence with which we affirm them. So analyze your thought patterns, what maybe hold you down, what is heavy, what doesn't make you feel good in the inside, and try to let go of them, to get rid of them. Personal touchstones: play a little, set boundaries, raise your prices and lower your workload. So Somerset Maugham has a quote that I really like. It's a funny thing about life. If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you very often get it. You have to have a resolution, cherish, comfort your artists, make nice promises to yourself and keep them. Do one lovely thing for yourself each day of the week. So this chapter about self-protection, I think it has a lot to do with having boundaries, to not burn out in your workload, to always seek what's creative, what inspires you, what makes you give more of yourself without comparing yourself to anyone else, and establish that protection of you, because the world will always want something else from you, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's more effort. You decide what's right for you and you decide what makes you happy. So this is my takeaways from the chapter of Julia Cameron, Discovering a Sense of Protection, and I see you in the next video. Thank you. Give a thumbs up or subscribe if you like this video. I'll see you in the next one.